Hello everyone, Scotty from Scotty Tells a Story, and today I want to talk about community and something we all tend to do as people when we come together in groups. Now, it involves, in one part, dunking on other people, which is not great, but it also involves bringing your community together more closely as a group. So it's neither a good nor a bad thing, it just is a thing we do. And I'm not talking about racism or xenophobia or anything like that. We're trying to stay lighthearted here. What I'm talking about is lighthearted competition. Let me give you an example from my own life. I am from Michigan, America's high five. Now, if you begin telling me a story about a person and then describe them as being from Ohio, my eyes will instinctively roll back into my head and make eye contact with the goblin that drives my meat suit around. I can't control it, but it's more in a competitive way, like, oh, we're better than them, in meaningless ways. And it's something we have done as people to strengthen a sense of community for a very long time. Let me give you another example. From Folklore and Mysteries of the Cotswolds by Mark Turner, a great little book. One of the few folklore books that I have just read cover to cover because it's great start to finish. Now, this story comes from the town of Ebrington, which is in the Cotswolds of England. Just think really pretty rural countryside. And these stories span from the 18th century through to the mid-20th century and involve the people of Ebrington there are colloquially called, according to this book, the Yubberton, using a regional dialect, the Yubberton Yawnies. Now, some examples of what the neighboring towns think of the Yawnies. Here's a story they tell about them wanting their church to be higher than their neighbors, so the Yawnies, how do you make things grow? You plant manure around the base. It doesn't make buildings grow, but, as the story goes, as the manure settled, they saw some staining from the manure around the base of the tower, and all assumed that it had grown that much. Another quick example is that a spring or summertime migratory bird was captured in a cage and left in the orchard so that summer would never leave. Not how it works. And this last one, I would like you to be the detective, because this book frames it, and so did the person who told the author of this book frame it, as a prank. You be the judge. There was a Yanni who is said to, over the course of many, many years, repeat this prank in a local pub. As kids would come in, he would say, "Hey, I've got this bag of sweets here. If you tip your head back and open your mouth, I'll toss one in." And the kids were like, "Ooh, free candy," so they did that, at which point he would spit in their mouth. That's a crime. Bye.